taught for a total of 17 years before she retired. Now, Twyla is the oldest cousin of the Hagna group, and yeah, and she, there's also a table for Thanksgiving and Christmas there too, so they're kind of between maybe, but in 1993, Twyla had come home for Thanksgiving, and Harry, her father, and was in the hospital. And so she decided, she needed to stay, but, didn't have to stay at the hospital the whole time. So she talked Mom into baking cookies for her shop in Golden Valley. So Thanksgiving of 1993 was when they first started baking cookies. And they've been baking every year since. They get together right before Thanksgiving and spend about 2-3 days. They're getting better at it, so there are less days it takes to get it all done. But then Twyla serves those at her beauty shop, her beauty salon. What is your correct salon? In Golden Valley at Christmas time. And when they would ever stop making those cookies, she would have some disgruntled employees as well as customers or clients as well. So we spent a lot of years getting together with Twyla and her mom and dad, Harry and Ellen, for Christmas. Eventually going down to Twyla's in the cities, and once Bruce and I left, Mom and Dad were still going down to be with Twyla and with Blake and Eric for Christmas. So there's a couple tables there to remember those. The gardening table. The gardening table.
Hey, bud, be careful here.
We always have had a vegetable garden, and she's always had some flower gardens too. But when Mom retired from teaching, she did a Master Gardener's course and spent a lot of time in her retirement years as doing community education or continuing education as well as teaching classes, writing newspaper articles and talking to groups, working with school groups and so on. And as a master gardener, she also did some seed trials and would have to evaluate seeds. She was the flower superintendent at the Chippewa County Fair for lots of years. She got to see everybody bring their entries and get to talk to them and go with the judges to judge their entries. She's a part of the Maynard Garden Club, and she belongs to the Prairie Herb Society now. She's going to come and help me this summer with my square foot gardening that I'm doing out there.
He's fine right now.
Sewing. She likes to sew, or she used to sew a lot. She sewed Bruce and myself lots of clothes, and she made a lot of her own clothes. When I was in Hanska, she had to sew all my costumes for the Sit and Demai show. The first year there were 7 or 8 costumes she had to sew. Thankfully it went down from there, but she sews clergy shirts for me and all that. Now, she bought a sewing machine a couple months ago, so I have hope that she will probably sew me a few more clergy shirts and skirts and stuff. Then the Hot Creek. We're getting there. We're almost. Ever since she's gotten married, she's been a part of Hot Creek Lutheran Church. She's served on all kinds of committees and active in the women's groups there. She does they have a quilting group, and so she sews quilt tops and gets together with the other ladies to tie quilts. And of course, there's been bazaars and ice cream socials and all of that. And now, of course, there's the lefse making that goes on, and so she is doing that. And because she lives in town now, she doesn't do as much gardening, but she does keep the flower bed up at church. Now, that's about it for that, except I do have a couple letters from a few people, that her sisters and stuff, and let me read those. But you do have to make an appointment with Mom to get together with her, because her calendar is pretty busy. So I want to read. I asked a couple people to write some memories of Mom. So where is she at? Talking. So she's not even going to hear these. Mom, I have a couple letters or some memories from a few people. We met as freshmen at WIU, majoring in home economics education. We both lived and worked off campus for room and board. We decided to be roommates our junior and senior years, living off campus in approved housing. We shared all home economics classes and probably others, especially during those last 2 years. One I especially remember is driver's ed. So what was the story there? I haven't asked her yet. Another was a class where we filmed home ec classes for public relations. Following graduation, Lois went to Little York to teach and I to Avon. We weren't in the same area for FHA meetings or local teacher groups, but we went to our state meetings together and shared our first experience in Chicago at the Sherman Hotel and summer graduate classes in Minnesota. Lois came home from St. Paul, engaged, planning her wedding, and I was a part of that day, and we've stayed in touch ever since. Margaret Johnson, or Margaret Kierman Johnson, says, I wish I could be there to share your day, but distance and other circumstances say otherwise. I hope you have lots of good memories of this special day, and I will be thinking of you. From Sister Ava, she's 1 year younger than Mom. She writes, some of the things I remember when Lois and I were young. We had 2 pet chickens, Kaka and Rosie. We would put them in our wagons and pull them around the house. They were so used to us, they just sat there and wouldn't attempt to fly off. Also, when Mom and Dad were out doing chores at night, we would take turns at ransacking the cupboards for goodies. I think I remember hearing about bittersweet chocolate or something. When we were in grade school, we had our hedge ball and snowball fights after school. We would hurry down the big hill to get away or get the teacher to keep the bullies after school. There's much more when we got older. Dad kept a close rein on us, and he was pretty hard to outsmart. And one from her youngest sister, Velma. Happy birthday to you, Sister Lois, my older sister, the oldest of we 3 sisters. If only the miles were shorter between us, we could have celebrated every birthday together. As you know, Buck turns 50 on the 24th, and I turn 70 on the 23rd. So we will miss your celebration. But you'll be in our thoughts as we celebrate together here. I will miss seeing Bruce and Marcia. I do think that we 3 sisters have grown closer since we matured. The week we spent together after our mother passed was life-changing for me. We bonded in a special way during that stressful time. Before that, my childhood memories are of a sister away at college and a sister married and moved far away. Gee, it was all about being chased with the sweeper on Saturday mornings and having to take a whole day to clean my room to stay out of other work downstairs. Or if I got out of hand, being held by both wrists till I calmed down. Ava says she got this treatment also. Now I can sympathize. Why did she have to clean house when she was away at school all week? But we still had fun times with aunts, uncles, grandparents, and cousins, milking cows, playing in the barns, pet chickens, cows, cats, and dogs, raiding the kitchen cupboards. They must have done that a lot. And the freezer when Mom and Dad were outside choring. None of us got to drive Dad's car, but we all managed to leave the farm and raise our own families, work and live good lives. My, how time flies. We've all three returned to a single life and made a lot of adjustments. Family at this time in our life becomes very important. Thankfully, we still have each other. We have been truly blessed. Happy birthday, sis. Love you always. Your baby sister, Velma. One more. This is from a wife of Mom's cousin Wilbur, Pauline Woolley. Do you remember putting a square in the squash in the microwave? Also the time the six of us were eating out and George got up and filled the water glasses. They get together with a group of relatives down there each week. Have a lot of good memories of your folks and you girls. Lot